MOTN Figured It Out, where we get to take a deep dive into Mike G's favorite thing in the entire universe, 1/6 scale figure collecting. If you're asking yourself, hey Mike G, what's going on? Why is everything so frozen? I would say, I don't know. I'm going to test the stream, see if we're in effect. We've had hiccups in the past. I just want to make sure everything is cool. Everything is Gucci. Please let me know if I am live. Looks like I am live, so we're going to go ahead and kick things off on this Saturday evening. I'm kind of feeling like the Adrienne Barbeau character from John Carpenter's The Fog. You know what I'm saying? Like a little smoky voice tonight. Feeling kind of low key. I'm blanketed, bruh. I need to be protected this evening. I hope y'all have a good time on this episode. It was a kind of a slow week in the world of 1/6 figures collecting. But we got some good topics to talk about tonight. We got some figure releases. We got some crazy announcements. And a couple of topics that I want to go over with you, the Nerdiverse, and with chat. So please jump in. This is a live stream. So if you want to stop by Twitch, stop by YouTube, eat the mic. Am I low? What's going on, Toots? Am I Super Nintendo low? Let me know if I'm low and I'll boost this bad boy up. Because we can't have it that way. Not at all. I need to know. Audio's low. Okay, we gotta fix that. Okay, I'm gonna boost this. It's already boosted. The audio is bio boosted. If it's too low, is audio bad or is it low? I need to know. Because you got audio down. I need to know if it's too low. I swear I never touch these parameters, bro. And it always change. And I am eating the mic. So just let me know, Toots. Get closer. Okay. So I gotta do it like Elton John. You know, when Elton John sings. He sings directly into the mic. Oh, don't move it. I was gonna jostle the audio settings if you're saying I was gonna move, but I don't want it coming in low, so I may jostle it anyway. I don't know. There's always something with this stuff. Anywho, thank you for everybody for joining in and checking out this episode. Maybe I am a little bit too low, but sometimes that's how it goes. Have you guys, and before we jump into all this nerd stuff and Nerdiverse and figured it out and all that good stuff, have you guys ever had a dream that was so vivid that presented to you a known but secret truth that you are kind of buried deep inside yourself, but the dream brought it to your forefront? What's going on, Jojo? How you doing, sir? And now you have to like make life decisions based on that dream. Like you have to, things got to switch up. You know what I'm saying? Is this too deep for a figure episode? Or is it just me? I don't know. Life is getting weird, chat. But anywho, let's go ahead and change the subjecto to the figures. So we're going to go into our first figure discussion this evening. This episode is called I didn't change the number. It's episode 12. It's not episode 11. It's episode 12, The Bond, Logan Bond. And as you can probably surmise, there was a strange, I would say, left of center announcement from Hot Toys. They announced their very, very first James Bond figure. I think this is their first Bond of all time. I'm new to hobby collecting. We live in a society, yes we do. I'm new to hobby collecting, so I may be wrong, but I think this is the only James Bond they've ever done. I think Sideshow have done some Bonds in the past, maybe some of the older Bonds, but Hot Toys is coming out the gate with their Daniel Craig Bond. As you can see to the picture of to the left, he doesn't come with much. He comes with a couple of weapons, the classic P90 that he keeps on him, a nice little diorama background with the camera shutter, the iconic camera shutter, and a bespoke suit. What are my initial thoughts? I dig it. I dig it. I think if they were gonna do a Bond, it's either gonna be the most recent Bond, 8 spots on the sides of the head, yet no stone unturned with Hot Toys, man. I think if they're gonna do either of the 2 Bonds, it would either be Sean Connery or the most recent Daniel Craig. They went with Daniel Craig because it makes sense to do the most recent Bond, the Bond that is this generation's Bond. Wow, Mike, this looks gorgeous. Yeah, man, they really kind of knocked it out the park with this figure. Let's dive a bit into it. I'm digging it so far. So just a couple of things to call out here. It does come with separate rolling eyes, so if you want to do that cocky little side eye with Bond, you can do that. You could take the jacket off to give him a sleeveless suspended look, which is actually really clean. And it's a custom bespoke suit with probably some of their best tailoring they've ever done. I mean, Bond is the suit, so the tailoring is going to have to be top notch on this. Do I think this is going to be a deep line? It could be. I mean, if this Bond sells and takes off, could they do a La Schiffer? Could they do a Blofeld? Could they do any of the Bond femme fatales? Yeah, I mean, and Bond is kind of like, as we were talking about on the channel, MOTN Live, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. James Bond is almost like Doctor Who, right? You can do a plethora of Bonds, from Timothy Dalton to Roger Moore to, as I mentioned earlier, Sean Connery, my Bond, Pierce Brosnan from GoldenEye. You can just, this line can go crazy if this is successful. There was some controversy with the head sculptures in Nerdiverse because of the lighting. Some people didn't like it. They thought it was a little frumpy, but there was some recent images of him with better lighting where the head sculpt looks top notch. I like the hair effects. It's not too plasticky. It's muted all in the right spots and have sheen all in the right spots. I think this is neat. I would love a battle damaged Bond, because he's never he never stays that clean for long, especially this Bond. Daniel Craig got his ass kicked a lot in a lot of those movies, especially that scene where he's tied to the chair and Lashif does the ball trick from under. It's out of control. But yeah, I think this one is top notch. Other thoughts on this guy? I do want to just reiterate the tailoring. I love the bow tie. I love the dinner suit. My only caveat is this is something they can maybe add for like a deluxe. This is Samsung ghetto lighting. Yeah. What's crazy is that photos like this, and we're gonna look at a announcement later in the show that has excellent lighting, and if you don't light these things right, they can look like toys so easily. So you have to really choose the best photographer to capture the best light of your figures, because that can make or break it. Yeah, gorgeous figure all around. Yeah, I 100% agree. But one thing I do wish is that he came with more accessories. James Bond has a full cavalcade of guns and grenades and all the Q gadgets and things like that. He doesn't come with a lot, so maybe there was like a deluxe with maybe like a different head sculpt, or maybe some it's the Punisher problem. You buy a Punisher toy and you need all the guns, you need the full arsenal. Maybe there's some 1/6 scale guns you could buy out there to load up with this Bond. But my only call out, I would say, is that I wished he had more accessories. Other than that, what's the verdict, right? Would I buy this? Would I suggest this to someone who's starting their figure collecting journey, or someone who's been in it for 10 years plus. Yes, I think James Bond is an iconic enough character to where he could stand. I don't know if this can stand alone on a shelf. The diorama base is a little flat to me. It's not dynamic like, let's say, the Jack Sparrow I have with the full-on battleship and destroyed, decks and stuff like that. I think he needs a pairing. I think he needs a Lashifa or Eva Green, or even a because they got the license for Ballerina, maybe even a I forget the actress name. But yeah, he needs someone to pair with him, or even a car. Give him the Aston Martin. Hot Toys do a 1.6 Aston Martin. That would be bread and butter for this guy. So I have to say a decision, and I'm saying yes, pull the trigger on this guy. I think this is going to be a deep line. I think you're going to get at least another 2 or 3 Bonds with this. My guess is OG Sean Connery and maybe even Pierce Brosnan, I think, are the 3 GOATs. I think that's going to be the trifecta of Bonds to look forward to. If they don't do villains, because they could do villains all day. Odd Job, Jaws, I mentioned Blofeld, Lashifa. So I think that this is prime with opportunity. And I think the way they're doing with this they have to get this right. This is a brand new license, and they have to show up and show out. So I think by the time this hits shelves, it's going to look absolutely crazy, and it's gonna go hard. So I don't highly recommend this one, only because I think it needs a partner, but I do recommend it. If you're just getting into collecting, and you love James Bond, lock in. Pick this one up. I don't even think it's that much. I think it's on Sideshow right now for like $2.90 or something like that. And in 1/6 scale, that is not bad. I'll buy that for $1. Let's move on to the next figure. So this is one that Tooch brought to my attention on the channel. I'm going to keep plugging it. MOTN Live, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's the one she saw independently of me bringing it to her. She was like, have you seen that Shin Hati release? And I was like, yeah. She looks kind of crazy. This just dropped. As you can see on the image to the lower left, Hot Toys, when it comes to Star Wars figures, they try to pack it in with as much as possible. So you can see she comes with like her little droid floater from the Ahsoka series. This is Shin Hati from the Ahsoka series. She comes with let's go. She comes with not only a LED light up lightsaber, but also a swishing lightsaber, full array of hands, beautiful tailoring. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. And what's crazy is this is the prototype. The actual released version looks better than this. The face is a lot sharper. The sculpt came out better. In my opinion, this might be a no-brainer. Initial thoughts, like I'm saying, I think this is a no-brainer. I love the Joan of Arc, almost medieval battle armor that she wears along with Balin's skull. I think the proportions are solid. I love that the cloak is weighted, and I love that the cloak is wired. Please, more wire capes, Hot Toys. Even though I love me a good drape cape, I think wire capes could help build with dynamics. Let's dive a bit deeper into this figure, shall we? Shin Hati. You know I had to throw on the photo with her and Balin, because that is the 1-2 punch, right? If you're gonna, and I think that's kind of gonna weigh into what I suggest this figure. So let's just go into it a bit deeper before I go into my final verdict. Tailored costume with meticulous fabric selection. I don't think the metal parts are die cast. I don't think so. They look like painted plastic, but that's a damn good paint. She has rolling eyeballs. She has her Padawan braid. She comes with that sick ass brown cloak. I love that damn thing. That thing is so fucking sick. And of course she comes with the orange lightsaber, which is, the classic lightsaber for the gray Jedi, someone who's not fully bled their lightsaber, kind of in between. Her and Balin Skull carry that lightsaber. So I think this is probably going to be contender for best HUD sculpt of the year. No cap. I think that this thing is gorgeous. And I believe that people are going to sleep on this one. Think what you want about the Ahsoka series. There is some shining light in that series, but I did like the antagonist. I did like the Padawan Shin under the Dark Jedi Master Balin Skull. And I think standing together, they look great. I think this is a beautiful 1-2 punch on a shelf. And as someone like me who was looking to pick up Ahsoka, this is very tempting. Even though I'm kind of trying to wean back my Star Wars. I'm trying to get some other movies in. But I think this might be something I get later. Would I buy this? Would I suggest this to people? Only if you're a Ahsoka fan or you're a Shin Hati fan. I don't think this is a absolute necessary. This is Star Wars representation in anybody's collection. Because she's not Darth Vader. She's not Obi-Wan Kenobi. This isn't Leia Organa, right? But this is a piece of work. This is a work of art. I think this is the head sculpt and the tailoring and the cape and the drapery is that good. Another thing this figure has against it is that it has a life partner. You know what I'm saying? It has, you're going to need to spend the money on Balin Skull along with Shin to make the dynamic duo. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of like an investment, right? Because these things aren't cheap. Still pretty though. That's my exact point, Toots. I think this is a dynamite figure. I think if you already have a Balin, this is a no-brainer. Complete the dynamic duo, get the squad up, get you an Ahsoka, and call it a night. But if you don't have any of this line, or you don't have Balin, it's a hard sell for me because it's like, one, she's not an iconic character yet. She's not Ahsoka. She hasn't been in 17 different series. And she needs a partner. Unless you just love this actress or just love the character. I need me some Shin Hati. You know, then, you know, go nuts. If you like it, I love it. But for me, it's a reluctant pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to pass on it, but I got to keep it real. Because where my collection is, I just want characters who are meaningful to me in my fandom. And she doesn't speak to me, even though it's a beautiful figure. And we're going to talk about that again in the very next slide, which is a good segue. But this is an expensive hobby, and I try to say it every stream. Collect with purpose, collect with focus, because you'll find yourself putting yourself in debt with these damn things. What's going on, Bradley? What's good, peoples? How you living, sir? Welcome to the stream. Holler at me. Yeah, so this next figure, you're gonna have to see it to believe it. So this is the Age of Wolverine Artisan 1/6 scale figure from the Deadpool and Wolverine line that just released in Shadow Drop this week. There is a lot to talk about with this guy. So for those who don't know, what's Age of Apocalypse Wolverine? I'm not going to sit here and break down the whole storyline of Age of Apocalypse. Go watch Comics Explained. Go check out Rob. He'll tell you all about it. But how is this pertinent is that this is a figure, this is a 5-second character as a gag during the Wolverine reel in Deadpool and Wolverine. And he shows up for maybe 5 seconds on the screen as a pop. And it's a very good pop because it's Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. I mean, like, it's the most niche version of Wolverine they could have possibly done. But talking about the figure itself, this thing is bloody gorgeous, right? The likeness to Hugh Jackman is undeniable. It has wool, not only wool hair and futsible hair. There's a word we learned last week is futz. It has wool mutton chops, bro. His Wolverine sideburns are like real wool hair. It's not plastic. The suit looks really good. It's screen accurate. Bro is mad Wolverine, balls deep Wolverine. Yeah, Hugh Jackman is the Wolverine. This thing doesn't come with a lot, man. It comes with Wolverine, some swap out claw hands, non-claw hands. Famously, Age of Apocalypse Wolverine lost his hand in the War of Apocalypse. And that's pretty much it. This is an artisan figure, meaning that this is like their tippity top of the line. We're going extra on the wool hair. My initial thoughts is this is the Wolverine we're going with. Hot Toys ? As your artisan Wolverine. I can see how it makes sense in some places because with shorter hair, it's harder to keep styled. Sorry if I clipped the mic there. Keep styled. And maybe this is what the license could bear them. I would take a yellow suit Wolverine from the movie with Artisan, or even the brown suit Wolverine, which would have been sick from the same movie. Would have been glorious. But this guy is such a weird pick. That Widow's Peak is, and that's how he looks in the comics, toots. I don't know what to tell you. So I wanted to include some images here, just some shout outs, some call outs. Yes, he has rolling eyes. That's kind of run for the course for all new Hot Toys figures. Seamless silicone body, so it's technically a seamless figure. Even with that hair, it kind of covers that up as well. It's just a gorgeous figure with it. It's just a gorgeous figure on the wrong version of the character. And that kind of what it boils down for me. Like, unless you are a Age of Apocalypse fan, like, yo, I need me some Age of Apocalypse. Who was this for? People love them some brown suit Wolverine. That's the iconic character. That's another, outside of the yellow suit with the stripes. Brown suit is probably like the most popular. It's solid, but it's not the best option. I mean, there's got to be a reason, right? I think they wanted to do an artisan Wolverine, and maybe they had trouble with the hair for the brown suit Wolverine from the movie. Maybe it was too short. Like I was saying, maybe they just couldn't get the styling right, the logistics of it. And because this one has big, woolly, unkept hair, it's easier to pull it off. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, unless you are a diehard Age of Apocalypse 90s Mads, Ed McGuinness, 90s X-Men fan, like, I don't see this being like, oh man, I gotta go out and get this artisan Wolverine. This is my Wolverine. I feel it came out with more Age of Apocalypse figures to watch him, like you suggest. I mean, at that point, you got to do an Age of Apocalypse movie, right? You got to have the Age of Apocalypse Cyclops and Apocalypse himself. Give him a mullet. Wolverine's had mullets before. He had business in the front, party in the back. You could have even done Patch, going back to James Bond. You know what they also could have done? The Calverine. Remember when Henry Cavill was in that scene for a second as Wolverine? I think that would have been sick if they did a Henry Cavill Wolverine. Artisan like artisan body with the hair and the Henry Cavill Superman face. I would have taken that over this choice. It puts Joe Dirt back in the hole. Now the big question: would I buy this? Would I suggest this? Man, it falls back to like the whole Shin Hati thing. Who is this for, dude? Like, what is this gonna pair with? You know what I mean? Like, can it still a shelf? You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of on the wall about the classic Wolverine, the yellow suit from the movie. I may cancel that pre-order because I'm just like, where do I put a Wolverine in my collection? But even this guy stands out like a sore thumb even more in an X-Men collection because he's from a very specific alternate reality that has no other representation. You know what I mean? And like I said, there are those Age of Apocalypse fans who are like, Mike, that this is heresy. How dare you sully the name of uh, of Wolverine? And they're gonna go kill it. They're gonna go nuts. And hey, if you like it, I love it. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. But for me, this is a pass. Funny enough, I jumped into hot sideshow just to see if I had a chance to get these artisans, because usually they sell out pretty quick. And I had it in my cart, and I was like, man, you don't want this, dude. You don't want this at all. And I just gave it to the next man who can get it. I just want to see if I could do it, just because of the hype and FOMO and all that. But yeah, for me, this is a pass. Even though I think this is a beautiful, glimpse into what they can do with the Wolverine artisan. Like I said, if they did the artisan end of the movie shirtless, what they call thirst trap Wolverine, maybe that would have been a better fit for this. Or maybe even the Calverine would have been a funny meme that people would have bought in droves. Make that the exclusive. I think this is a pass. This is a super pass, only because it's like the most obscure Wolverine I could possibly think of, outside of like, yo, Bradley, what was the name of that robot Wolverine that was super ugly and was all like patchwork together? What was his name? Like, was it Patch? No, Patch is the Secret Agent Wolverine. His name was like Bub or something. It was something whack. I can't remember the guy's name. But yeah, hard pass on this guy. The artistry is there. It's a beautiful figure. It's just I'm not interested whatsoever, and I can't fake it. And now for something completely different. Every once in a while, there's a slow week at Hot Toys. I try to delve a little bit left of center and showcase something that maybe someone else's swing of things. And today we're talking about the newly announced 1/6 scale deluxe Mum-Ra from Thundercats from Mondo. And yeah, can't think of it either. It'll come to me right as the stream ends. And this thing is it's beautiful. This thing is glorious, dude. I love me some Thundercats. Anybody will tell you, if Mike Prime was here, he'd tell you how much I love Thundercats as a kid. I have a Mum-Ra that you can't see in the shot, but I have a what's the name of that company that makes the sick 1/12 scale figures? The Ultimate line. That Mum-Ra is sick. It has like the bendable cape and everything. But this is like the ultimate, no pun intended, version of Mum-Ra that I've seen ever. That is a figure form, not the big old giant $7,000 statues. As you can see from the image of the far left, this guy is loaded to the gills. He comes with 17 different faces. The Sword of Destruction. It's not the Sword of Omens. I think it's called like the Sword of Destruction. It comes with the baby Sword of Destruction. You know how I feel about pets and animals in figure form. He comes with Maw-Mutt. And even Maw-Mutt has 2 different head sculpts. This thing is out of control. But the flexible cape and the different and the holdable mantle, it looks like a full array of hands. I don't know what that yellow thing is. It's some kind of pondering orb that he has, Doug. This thing is beautiful. Initial thoughts. I love it when they bring back the 80s and do stuff like this. Yes, is there a giant gross seam in the middle of his stomach and on his legs and arms? Yes, but this isn't photorealistic. This is cartoon. This is more of a hot toy than a hot toy collectible. If you picking up what I'm laying down. So, and once again, going back to what me and Toots were talking about in regards to the James Bond and how those blogger photos, those photos were taken, the professional photos were kind of boo-boo water. Whoever did the photography on this figure lost their damn mind. Let's just check this out for me a little bit. This person got the ambient lighting. I think they built a set for it. This thing looks glorious, dude. I love me some Mum-Ra. And what was the name of the villain from Silverhawks, Doug? Monstar. I gave him away at a giveaway a couple of months back. for a MOTN event that we did at a local comic store. I think this thing looks absolutely insane. As you can see, it's about 14 feet tall, which he's a biggin. He's almost like Darth Vader height, honestly. I wanted to include a picture of him standing next to the 1/6 scale Lion-O and Snarf, just to kind of give you some scale. I think this is, as once again I said, the flexible cape. He's fully jointed, 17 different facial sculpts. You can do whatever you want with this guy. It's going to come out looking tight. Would I suggest this? Would I buy this? Hell motherfucking yeah. I'm kind of tempted, but I don't want to do 1/6 scale toys. I want to keep my 1/6 scale collection to at least kind of like lifelike, almost like Hot Toyish things. I do have a shelf that's going to be the most cartoonish stuff I will subside for 1/6 scale, and you'll see that soon. You may have noticed that the Marvel shelf hasn't been lit up for a while. That's going to be redone. I want to change up the lighting. I want to change up a lot of things about it, but you'll see it's going to be tight. But with this guy, I'm so tempted. All you need is Lion-O in Mum-Ra. You don't need the full Thundercats team. That's just so cool about this. You get Lion-O and Snarf and Mum-Ra and Marmot. You have a shelf. Bam. Pose them up real nice, and now you got a soup cooking. Would I recommend to buy this? Yes, if you're a Thundercats fan. If you're old like me, get up, stretch, drink your Metamucil, don't eat past 6. You know the drill. Take care of yourself and get you some Thundercat memorabilia. Any thoughts on this? It's been kind of quiet on the chat end for this Mum-Ra. Y'all not feeling it? Is this kind of like not your cup of tea? What are your thoughts? Facts. Okay, you feeling what I'm talking about, B? Yeah, man. If you're a Thundercats head like I am, and that's what you grew up on, this is a no-brainer. Come get you some Mum-Ra. I think Mondo still has some Lion-Os floating around. Of course, you can go out into the catacombs and find him. I will find him, and make you like a little Thundercat shelf. All right, barring any other thoughts, questions, concerns about this dope ass figure, say it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I live for Thundercats, so it's hype for me. But I can understand that. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna go ahead and Metamucil for the win. I drunk that shit earlier, bruh. This guy is regular, like the regular show. That's gross. Moving on to something that Toots mentioned that I'm going to reiterate tonight. And that is the life-size Stitch from the new live-action Lilo and Stitch movie. If you watched MOTN Live Friday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch and on YouTube, Toots brought up an interesting theory that Disney is starting to leverage Mickey Mouse out of being the figurehead of Disney and moving Stitch in as the titular Disneyland face, which I think is insane. But if they're doing it, we'll see how it happens. But they've been pushing Stitch heavy lately, and I can tell you guys, from someone who's been in the community for a little while, it's rare they do this. They don't really do like the life-size Disney stuff. They don't really do Disney stuff. They kind of stick to Marvel. They stick to Star Wars, a little bit of DC when DC wants to act right, and a little bit of everything else. But things like this are very rare. Even the life-size Grogu, which I think they may have used the body for a little bit with this guy, is something that is strange. Hydrate, people, hydrate. This is so left of center. He even comes with a little stand. He comes with a ton of like little accoutrements, dog. He comes with a lei, glasses, little arm booty so he can float. They really went all out on this little fuzzy dude. And you know, initial thoughts is I think this came out great. I think it looks, I'm a little scared on how stiff the joints are. Are they popping joints? Is it like wired? I got to get this thing in hand, bro. I wonder how heavy it is. There's a lot of things that I'm just kind of thinking about when it comes to this figure. Let's move on. So this guy is absolutely adorable. You can see the size comparison to the mysterious lady in the leather jacket on the far left. So this is accurate, screen accurate size for Stitch. He comes with articulated ears, a fully articulated mouth. No need for rolling eyeballs because they're just all black and lifeless like a doll's eyes. But he comes with looks. So I think this thing would be an amazing gift for creepy. Yeah. This is what happens when you bring these cartoons to life. The uncanny valley will take us all. I think this is the amazing gift in a gateway 1/6 scale Hot Toys to anyone who's a fan of Disney, anyone's a fan of Lilo and Stitch. I mean, could Stitch possibly topple the mouse? Oh, it remains to be seen. But I think buying this for someone as a gift would blow their minds. Like, this isn't for children. I'm just gonna put this out there. Don't buy this for kids. 4 kids go into the water. Oh, a Spanish lady. This is for the adult who likes this, because the kid's gonna tear this apart. I've never really talked about this on the channel, but if you want to start collecting these figures, and Toots could tell you, these figures are very delicate. You can't play with them like an action figure. You can't throw them around the room. Your Jack Sparrow will explode if it falls. So I don't know what kind of battle-ready damage this thing is for. It's not. He doesn't have a lot going on, and it's seamless. I think this thing is seamless. So it looks absolutely insane. But yeah, if you're gonna get this for your 3-year-old, I would wage against it, because that's gonna be an expensive fail when the head is ripped off, or one of the eyes are popped out, or they cut themselves on the very, very sharp lifelike teeth. But if you have that friend out there, that significant other that likes Stitch, and you want to get them something super special, pre-order this one. Now it kind of goes to the question, would I buy this, right? Would I recommend it? So would I buy this? Honestly, no. I didn't grow up with Lilo and Stitch. It wasn't on in the house. I was already too old and grown, funny enough, before I even started working at Disneyland, to get into Lilo and Stitch. So I don't have that kind of emotional connection. Shout out to Stitch wearing the MOTN glasses. I make phone calls, Toots. He is wearing the MOTN looks. Look at him. I may get one just for that. They have an MOTN Stitch in the back, bro. That'll be fire. Yeah, I wouldn't get this one outside of pure marketing for MOTN, just because I'm not a Stitch fan. I don't want giant life toys in my room. I just want my 1/6 scale, remember berries, Darth Vader is cool shit. This would be weird for me to have in my room. It's like a teddy bear, like a Teddy Ruxpin or something. I'm cool. But if I had a kid who loved this stuff, I would get it for them and teach them how to begin to take care of their things. This could be a good gateway to teach little Tuffington, or whatever the name of the child is, to, take care of your figure, keep it nice. Maybe even get like a little display, you know what I'm saying? And they'll begin to appreciate their things. But would I suggest this? Hell yeah. I don't even think this thing is that expensive. I think it's also like $330, $290, somewhere along those lines. I would definitely recommend this to anyone who loves Lilo and Stitch. I would recommend to anyone who's trying to find that gateway into collecting, into memorabilia collecting. And I would recommend this to anybody who's just into Disney, because apparently this is the new face of Disney. So, I, for one, welcome our Stitch Overlord. And hopefully he is merciful. Yeah, exactly. Take care of your shit. Exactly, Toots. Teach your kid. I mean, I don't have kids, man, so I can't tell. I can't garner any beautiful truths on parenting, but I think a universal truth is to take care of your stuff. Learn to take care of your stuff early, and you would appreciate it better. And I think this is a good gateway for youngins to pose it and make it look tight, and maybe put it behind some glass, maybe put it in a display case, So when their friends come over, ooh, that's tight. Can I touch it? No. You may never touch the collectible. You may never touch the collectible. This goes out to everyone, even people who come to check me out. You can't touch the collectibles, bro. Don't touch the fur. I will freak the fuck out. That's just the rule. I don't make the rules, bro. You come in here and you break something, I'm gonna break something. That's just the rules. Any last thoughts on this Switch as I go into a dark hole of collecting fears and phobias? I think this thing looks great. I think the leather jacket looks great. I think the articulated ears look great. I think this is a home run. What else could they do? Give me a lifelike Hulkbuster, so I can put it in my backyard and afraid the neighbors, bro. I think that does it for figure reveals. So now we're gonna go into just some overall topics I wanted to talk about in the 1/6 scale collecting arena. So this is very interactive. So please, Joe, Toots, Bradley, I need your help on this one. Let me know your thoughts on this particular subject. All right, so I'm going to talk about this as many times as I can. So this week, a new fighting game was announced called Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. So for those who are in the know, Marvel vs. Capcom is a game that I've loved for my entire life. From Marvel vs. Capcom 1, 2, 3, even Infinite kind of gets some play. And the Marvel vs. Capcom, I would say genre has kind of gone dormant over the last 10, 15 years. There was Dragon Ball Z Fighters, which was like another Arc Systems game that had very much Marvel vs. Capcom isms in them. It was a 3v3 fighting game, but nothing that was Marvel versus Capcom. And announced out the blue, Arc System Works, company that made Dragon Ball Z Fighters and games like Guilty Gear XR, Guilty Gear Strive, are currently working with Sony Games, Marvel Games, and Arc is put together this 4v4 fighting game that is equal parts Strive, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and even a little bit of Dragon Ball Z Fighters. And with the I would say signature Arc System Works graphical fidelity, this thing looks absolutely beautiful. If you haven't seen the trailer and you're into fight games and you're into Marvel characters, which you should be because this is a 1/6 scale collecting channel and there are a lot of Marvel characters, I cannot wait to play this thing. I'm calling Doom, Ghost Rider, and Storm already. Already saw the trailer. It looks dope AF. I'm telling you, bruh. Don't give me you're not gonna, guys, I'm gonna come out the cave like Jesus on the third day. Y'all not gonna see me for like 2 months, and I'm gonna come back a god, bro. I'm gonna have all types of infinite combos and stuff, bro. You don't even know. I'm gonna come out the catacombs with the same blanket on, when my fingers are gonna be bloody from doing combos, and I'm gonna have blood marks all over a fighting game stick, and I'm gonna say, who wants it? And you're gonna hear like cherubs and shit behind me. It's gonna be too goated. My question is, could Hono Studios possibly make a run of these figures? I think it's possible, just for a couple of reasons. And one more thing before I go into the actual figures. I'm getting that for show. Maximilian, for those who don't know, Maximilian is one of the biggest fighting game channels of all time. I would pray to have his audience. Storm is, yes. Storm looks really good. Maximilian thinks that because this exists, Marvel vs. Capcom is dead. That kind of Arc System Works took the soul of Marvel, ate it like Ursula, and now they have the power of Marvel. I don't think that's the case. And I tried saying this in his chat, but he didn't really pick up on it. But what I think is happening is that Capcom is currently working really closely with SNK. For those who are following Street Fighter 6, Terry Bogard and Mai were characters for the very first time in a Street Fighter game in the last season. Shout out to Max. Please watch my channel, Max. I know you collect stuff, Max. Anyway, so I think they're working on Capcom versus SNK 3. Shout outs to Bradley. You know how many nights we would play And shout outs to Miguel out there. How many nights we'll play Marvel Capcom versus SNK 2? So I think they're working on Capcom versus SNK 3, and I think that's where their alliances are and where their focus is. And I think Marvel didn't want to wait. He's just shy of our age, but it's all good. Yeah, man, he's just a little bit younger than us. I think Marvel just didn't want to wait to make a fighting game at this time, because we don't know how far off Capcom versus SNK 3 is, and it has to kind of go its entire life cycle, right? So they're like, let's put out this game now, and I think they're going to do Marvel vs. Capcom 4 later. But that's just my 2 cents on it. But back to figure collecting. Will they make these figures? So there is precedence for multiple reasons. One, Sony and Marvel have played in the same playpen with Hot Toys. So Hono Studios is a subsidiary of Hot Toys that makes, now I wouldn't say cheaper, but more cost-effective figures. Like I have the Hono Wolverine that's right here. No likeness for our head sculpt, plastic claws, but it's a beautiful figure. In fact, I'm going to be displaying it more later in the future. But do I think that Hono Studios can make these figures? Yes, because they'll make Doom. I would hope they would make Doom. He's like on the cover right here. I would love a Doom. I think Hono would knock this line out the park, only because there aren't no license issues. The costuming is fairly straightforward, and it's cartoonish, and I think that Hono would do an excellent job. I don't think that Hot Toys would want to touch this, because they're not likenesses. They're not what's the word I'm looking for? People. These are characters. They're Japanese anime designed, thoughtful characters. So I think going in the Hono line would make more sense. Hot Toys have also made video game characters before for Sony. They made the Spider-Man line with Miles Morales and Sony Spider-Man, and 12 Inches of Love, which is Venom, or 18 Inches of Love, which is Venom. So there is precedent for them making Sony video game characters. So I think there is a high chance that we may get these at some point. Like you said, Toots, imagine Storm, bro. Like imagine Ghost Rider, dude. Like I've been wanting a 1/6 scale Storm for so long. No celebrity. Yeah, you know what's the most expensive thing a lot of times, Toots, when it comes to these 1/6 scale figures, is the facial likeness. They have to jump through so many hoops to get the actor to sign on, to get the company to sign on, to get a lot of people to sign on. Is the likeness there? Sometimes the actor won't like the figure and take away the likeness rights. It's a whole thing. But you avoid all that with stuff like this, where it's all Japanese anime and you can stylize it and get that kind of perfect blend of Uncanny Valley and nice, body work and tailoring, and do it on the cheap. Do it for Hono, and I think it would be a killer. Yeah, they would be cool. Yeah, like I would want a Doom. I would want definitely a Storm, and I think I would even want a Kamala Khan. I would want a Miss Marvel. She's not featured here. So yeah, I think this would be gangbusters, and it's Marvel. I think this game is going to sell quite well. I think it's going to have a long life. I think this game is going to have a ton of characters, because how do they not have Hulk? What's Hulk going to look like in this art style? Or Venom? Ooh, Venom's going to look sick, dude. Or any of the old Marvels. Magneto. Don't get me started on Magneto. So I think that there's a high possibility that we're going to get these figures in the not necessarily the near future, because Hot Toys like to take their sweet time. But I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a Captain America show up in this suit, or a Doom, or a Storm. So yeah, I'm really excited for this game. As you can tell, I won't shut up about it. It's crossed the streams, no pun intended. It crossed the live stream, and now it's crossing the Figured It Out stream. I promise I'll chill until there's more information announced for this thing, but I'm super excited for all prospects and all marketing. And now for the final topic of the evening. So I wanted to ask this question because I've asked it before in the Hot Toys Reddit, and it got some really good responses. So, and I know Toots and Bradley and JoJo, you don't have 1/6 scale figures, but this really goes out to the chat as well. People who will see this in the future, and you can even say if you're going to buy a Hot Toys figure, and you've seen them Toots, you've seen them Bradley at this point, what would be your dream 1/6 scale figure? What would be the one character that you're like, I know it's going to be Akuma for you, Bradley, but think of another character, any other from a movie or from another game, or in Toots, let me know who would be. You can pick anybody under the sun, because there's 1/6 scale basketball players, 1/6 scale actors. Who would be your dream 1/6 scale figure that you would say, you know what, this is undeniable, I gotta get it? For me, because they haven't done it and they probably will never do it, I have a picture here of Alec Baldwin as The Shadow. The Shadow was such a big movie for me in the 90s. I talk about it a lot because there was a whole era of pulp hero films in the 90s that was the gap between Batman 89 and like Blade. You know what I mean? And the start of Marvel. And these movies held it down for us nerds, man. I mentioned on the last show The Rocketeer, The Shadow, definitely Billy Zane's The Phantom, Dick Tracy, bruh, with Warren Beatty, dog. Like, these are all figures I would absolutely kill for. Jimi Hendrix with the guitar. It's funny you say that. I think there is a Jimi Hendrix out there somewhere. One second, I need to re-up on my cough drop. But I think there is a Jimi Hendrix out there, Toots. There's also a Kurt Cobain out there for you Nirvana fans. It's an older figure, but it looks gorgeous. Yeah, musical. There's and Anart is doing a Michael Jackson right now. They're doing like a Dangerous album with him wearing the uniform with the kind of like the he's wearing the black suit with like the bullets chain, the fake bullet chain on his hand with the white glove. He said Akuma, damn it. Wesley Snipes from New Jack City. You don't want that, bro. Bradley, you do not want a Nino Brown 1/6 scale. What's it gonna come with? Cocaine, dog? What's that? That's just gonna have like it's gonna be a Nino Brown Pookie 2-pack, dog? Nah, man, we're not doing that. You got me. Yeah, you tripping. This dude said Nino Brown, dog. He's gonna come with turkeys, dog. Nino Brown gonna come with a big 1/6 scale turkey, a gun, and a bag it out white, dog. Oh, we mentioned on the episode, Bradley, but Wu-Tang Clan is coming out with a new fighting game. So then you may get that wish. Toots, oh shit, Bradley. You would come with the most left of center idea. The 1/6 scale Nino Brown, dog, is out of control. But yeah, what would be your dream 1/6 scale figure? There's so many I would like to see. I think Jazz Inc. is finally doing a Linda Carter 70s and 80s Wonder Woman, which I desperately want. I want a Wonder Woman so bad. That's not that damn Snyderverse. Another dream shelf I have is Christopher Reeve Superman, Adam West Batman, and Linda Carter Wonder Woman. That would be my perfect trinity. And a lot of those I wasn't even around for, bro. I was barely existing for those characters. But being super little, they were all in the house. Batman, was on in the house. Wonder Woman was on, and Superman. So that would be my perfect trinity if they'd do it. And what sucks is that the Batman exists, but it's super old and like $1,000. I'm not buying that. Yeah. Yes, Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. I want that so bad. And I'm hearing that Jazz Inc. is making it with rooted hair and all that crazy stuff. So I'm kind of like on the lookout, you know what I'm saying? Because I may have to make crazy decisions. Because I would be like the end all be all Tu Wong Fu type shit. That's what Bradley saw. He wants that Tu Wong Fu Wesley, dog. That's crazy with all the accessories. Yeah, I really want that trinity. I think that's my go-to dream 1/6 scale shelf is Batman and Robin. I don't even no, forget Robin. Burt Ward. I want Adam West Batman, Christopher Reeve Superman, Linda Carter Wonder Woman, and I would stop collecting, bro. That's when you hit the summit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm good for the rest of it. And maybe the Fantastic Four, depending on how good the movie is. But yeah, think about it, Nerdiverse, and let me know in the comments below. What would be your dream 1/6 scale figure? Has it already come out and you missed it? Or is it one that has never been made and you're just kind of like trying to Frankenstein it yourself together using scraps from inside of a cave? Which I don't blame you. You know, be the change you want to see in the world. Adam West, Romero Carter. That's a squadron. There is a really good Cesar Romero Joker out there. That 2-1 will go on my Wesley shelf. You have the Wesley 3-pack, right? You have Blade, you have Nino Brown, and you'll have 2-1 Fu, dog. No questions asked. Don't ask me for nothing. You will not get the answer you want. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, man, that's kind of like where my head's at. I want 90s stuff, man. I want The Mask with Jim Carrey. Even though there is a Mask out there, but he doesn't have anybody else to go with him. I want shit like the Rocketeer, bro. You know what I'm saying? The Warriors of Virtue. We just watched Tank Girl. Shout outs to the Fourth Horseman in Long Beach. I would kill for a Tank Girl, dog. I just want some 90s stuff. Hit me up, you know. Hot Toys, do something weird. You know what I'm saying? Man, and with that, we've reached our hour point. We've reached the end of the topics. So I'll leave the last 3 minutes for open forum. Toots, Bradley, Joe. Anybody wants to jump in the chat, say hi. Don't forget Wesley from Demolition Man. You can never forget about Simon. What was his name? Simon. Bradley, help me out. We did it. That would be cool. Yeah. There was Simon Phoenix, Doug. Don't forget about the blonde-haired Simon Phoenix, Doug, from Demolition Man. Yeah, that would be the true shelf. It'd be Simon Phoenix, Nino Brown, Blade, Doug. That would be the Wesley Snipes trifecta, Doug. The evil Simon Phoenix, Doug. What are your last thoughts, chat? What are your last questions, comments, concerns? Would you buy that Wolverine? Did you want to do it? Great episode, Mike. Thank you so much, Toots. I try my best to bring the enthusiasm on these cold Saturday nights, even though it's a lot of warm tonight. I'm wearing my blanket because I need security tonight, yo. It was a weird day. It was a super weird day. Last night was weird dreams. I'm just feeling a certain way. In this community, this channel is therapy, man. It's really helps mold me and chill me out. Gives me a chance to talk into a mic and say hi to my peoples. So I appreciate y'all. For those who are watching, all 6 of y'all, I appreciate you. Tomorrow there'll be more of us. Shout outs to Tootie Odin. Shout outs to BK Roll. Shout outs to JoJo for coming through. Pray for LA. Yeah, it's going crazy. Be safe out there. Stay in the house tonight. There's some injustices going on that they're masking as justice. This is not a political stream, but just be careful out there tonight. You know what I'm saying? Get back to the house. That's all I'm saying. I'll get the Wolverine for an Age of Apocalypse shelf. Yeah, but there's no other characters that will ever be on it, B. Dope episode, Mike. Thanks, JoJo. Much appreciated. Yeah, unless you're going to get Apocalypse and Cyclops that don't show up in this movie, then it's like, you have to make them yourself. And nothing you create will ever look as good as that. That looks insane, bro. Sadly, unless Hot Toys just decides to do it. Once again, thank you guys for checking out Figured It Out. This is the channel where I get to spend a day a week talking about the hobby that I love the most, which is 1/6 scale collecting. If you like this content, please like this episode. I need to grow this channel. I need to grow this channel. Agreed. That's a standalone piece. At a weird, what is that? You're absolutely right. It is a standalone piece, but it's beautiful. I'm not faking the funk. It's absolutely beautiful. Comment. Let me know what you think about the Wolverine. Are you picking it up? Are you passing it? What do you think about the James Bond? Are you hating on it? I think it looks gorgeous, but let me know if I'm wrong. I've been wrong before and I'll be wrong again. And subscribe to the channel so that you can be able to watch previous episodes, be made preview of episodes that are coming out in the future, such as Random Select. We're going to be doing our Random Select this Wednesday. That's going to be going live Wednesday at 12 p.m. Myself, Toots, and the Wash himself will be in chat yucking it up over our decisions. Who's going to win? I can't tell you who's going to win between 1990s TMNT and Kingsman and Secret Service. So we're going to be watching those films. If you want to follow along, watch them yourself. They're both bangers. And with that, I will bring this stream to an end. As always, collect responsibly, collect within your means, collect within your space. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. Y'all have a great night. Collect what you love what you